All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Richard Lesperance. I go by the name of My Man Richard. Welcome to A Better Lifestyle. Today, I have the pleasure to have Tina English with me. Welcome, Tina, to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Hi, great. So, who is Tina English?
All right. Yes, you said it completely correct.
So,
Sorry.
who is Tina
Who am I?
English?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
well, who am I? I'm a dream life mentor, but that wasn't always like this. I started out as a snowboarder, like in Snowboard World Cup. And I did competitions until a point where I felt like that's not for me anymore. And the reason being is, first of all, I had a big injury. They told me that I probably will never gonna be walking again, and that isn't the case. Obviously, I was back on my snowboard after 6 weeks. But then I won a competition that I thought was really important to me. But the goblet was sitting next to me when I was driving home, and I was like, okay, that's not what I thought happiness was gonna look like. I thought that's gonna be better, but it wasn't. And that was the first time that I was thinking maybe there is more to life, and I just don't understand it, what it is. I just knew that if this is what there is in life, if this is what it is, that's not enough for me. So there needs to be more. Otherwise, there's no need to continue. And so that brought me to the third world countries. Like I was in Cuba for quite a while. I worked there, and I got the pleasure to really learn from these people how to be happy in the sense, because these people, they like, when you compare it to our society, we strive on materialism, like the things that we have, what we own, what we are, the status, and they don't have any of this. So for them, they don't have any material possessions that really would mean something to us. For them, if they have a house, it's great, but and so I really, for the first time, got a glimpse of what happiness looks like when it's not coming from anything outside of you, but from something inside of you. And when I came back home, in that sense, to Austria, I was thinking I think everyone should have a little bit of an impression from this, because I would love to bring a little bit from that happiness that I learned. Obviously, it's teachable, it's learnable, it's a skill that you can learn. So I thought, like, okay, if I have learned it, everyone can learn it. And this is what shaped my way, because this is actually what brought me to the coaching, to like being an entrepreneur. I started out as a single and flirt coach because I was doing the education and asked people, well, what do you think is good for me? And they said, you're good at flirting, you should do this. So this is how I started, because I didn't know at that time what I really wanted to do. And then I developed into being Austria's first relationship coach. Got pretty famous on that, because that wasn't, when you're the first one and everyone is asking you what you're doing, and media was coming, and yeah, and I kept going until a point in my life where I got paralyzed. I was in Mongolia, I did a horseback riding trip and jumped off the horse, and suddenly my leg didn't work anymore. And that was the moment when my life kind of reset, because I got into depression. I was coming from sports, and like, then you couldn't even walk again, and it's like, what's happening? And all the therapy and the stuff that I had to do, and then I didn't see the meaning anymore, like learning happiness was doing like what I love, but I couldn't do anything. I was just like at home. And that made me, I think, basically aware of how fast life could end. And I came to a point where I thought, okay, I mean, I could be dead by tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, when you experience something changing your life from a second to the other, these are the thoughts that at least came to my mind. Um, yeah, and then I needed the inspiration to change that. And the moment that I got the idea that I can have a life, I mean, of course, I got better and I'm walking and everything, but that I can still do more, that there is so much left that I haven't yet discovered, but I wanted to discover. This made me realize, okay, I have to just say no to everything that I don't like and create what I like. I mean, 100%. I don't know if this is possible, because there's always some challenges in life, but a life that I can say yes to. And I want to wake up every morning too. And I think this is the moment when I started to do that. And that changed my direction in being a dream life mentor and a performance coach, because I think that, yeah, I understand for myself that goals, that was always the thing. I set a goal, I nail the goal. That's just what I do. And I would love for everyone on this planet, if that is possible, to really create the life that they can say yes to when they get up in the morning, because that would make our planet and our society so much better, because everyone would be so much more happy, and that would be an amazing energy. And yeah, this is what I do, and this is basically who I am, because my passion, this is my purpose, I think.
You talk a lot about being authentic. Talk to us about that.
I think that authenticity is the root for everything, because if you wear a mask like all day, you forget about, not that you're not even showing who you are, and people cannot love you for who you are, but sometimes you even forget who you are because you're wearing this mask like from 6 o'clock in the morning till you go to bed at 10 o'clock. So where is the time that you can feel yourself? You always feeling this doubts why I cannot be myself. So for example, I talk to you and I think I have to be someone else like me, so for you to like me. So who am I? In this moment, I'm not me. I'm the person that I think I should be. And I think this disconnection, it makes it very difficult for people to really understand what they want, because basically they always looking for the comfort and the good things outside of themselves. But what they really need to look for is what's inside of me and what makes me happy. And then I will automatically be connected to the people that will love me for who I am. It's just not possible, because you just choose other things. You don't choose to be with people who would not acknowledge you for who you are. They don't love you for who you are. You would just say, okay, there's a boundary. I don't want to cross this line because it doesn't make me feel good. So there needs to be something else out there that does. And the more I embrace the person that I am, the more that I'm authentic, the more I will find my passion, the more I will live a passionate and fulfilled life, and the more the outside will align with who I am in the inside. But it doesn't work the other way around. So we cannot adapt. We can adapt, of course, but like if you look at nature, nature adapts to the environment, but it still stays itself. And this is what we need to do. We need to stay ourselves wherever we go. And from there, this is a complete different level of operating. And if you like radiate this energy of being happy with yourself, being authentically you and unapologetically you, then the outside will react to this and they will accept it. Because I think what the outside or other people don't accept is the self-doubt. And they can feel it, because if you're not you, then it's not, they feel the slight, imbalance of what your energy would be and what your vibration is. And people reject inauthentic things because they feel there's something not there.
The problem is it takes courage to be authentic, and most people sometimes they won't do it.
That's true. I mean, I think showing off as who you are is one of the most like difficult things, because it, as you said, it takes so much courage, because people might not like who you are, but this might be the person that you want to like you. But the thing is, unauthentic behavior, in my perception, you cannot do this for all your life. So like, for example, when people enter a relationship and they set up this mask to be perfect for the other person, so how long are you able to wear this mask? For the rest of your life? Like, imagine like 50 years not being you at home, where you should feel like you and recover. And this is the place where you should be like unapologetically all the time, but you can't, because you have your partner there and you showed off as someone completely different. Does that make you fulfilled? Does that make you feel loved for who you are? And I think this is the problem, because if you get a compliment, but you don't feel like you deserve it, then you cannot take it. And then the mismatch starts, because you need more and more of these compliments, because you hear them and you like them, but you don't believe them. So they need to bring it up again and bring it up again and bring it up again. And they get needy. So other people can never satisfy this need. The only thing that can satisfy your need is when you look inside and you, for example, think, I'm pretty. And when everyone outside says you're pretty, you can say, yes, that resonates with me, because I think that too. But if I think I'm not pretty and someone from the outside says, you're pretty, I would probably feel like they're lying to me. Or they just want to compliment me, but they don't mean it. But this is my own insecurity. So, and this is the reason why people don't show off as themselves, because they have a little bit of fear and a little bit of doubt about themselves inside. So once you just eliminated that from your life, you take care, you heal yourself, you do the work. Basically, it's doing the work. Then you can be authentically you, and you do not care about what other people say so much anymore. I mean, of course, you don't want to hurt them. You don't want these people to hate you. But I mean, you spend your life with yourself for the rest of your life, and you cannot escape. There's no escape from yourself. So it's better that someone else leaves you if they don't like you than you leave yourself.
Do you think when you're being authentic, things align better for you?
In my experience, it is like this. In my experience, the more I embrace who I am, the more I'm also courageous to say no to what I don't like, which automatically opens a lot of space for what I like and what I want in my life. Because all the time I say no, I create a space for something I can say yes to. That doesn't need to be that it comes like within the next month or in the next year. I don't know that. So that I cannot influence, but I can influence what I say yes to. And the more I align the things I say yes to with who I am and what truly authentically aligns with me, the less of mental or outside clutter I have in my life.
Yeah, when I was saying that is because I was referring to what you were saying before, creating a life of purpose and meaning, like things align when you're true to yourself.
Yeah, I think the thing is that I think it's a combination of both. It's your energy that you radiate out that attracts maybe the same energy, but it's also you not accepting anything else. So I like to have these metaphors from relationships because many people can rely to. So if you're in a toxic relationship, and as long as you accept being in this toxic relationship, nothing will change because you have like accepted and established that it's okay. You might complain about it, but that doesn't change that you're still there. And you still accept that it's happening, even if you don't like it, but you are there, which tells the other person, well, as long as she keeps being here or he keeps being there, I don't have to change. So they only consider changing if you say no and if you're ready to leave. And if you say like, okay, that's not for me, that's not authentic, that doesn't let me be who I am, and I don't accept this behavior, and this is why I leave. And only this will set such a clear boundary to other people that they have to respect, that automatically people who wouldn't, you're not aligning with them. You wouldn't even allow space in your life for them. So what is in your life, that will be what you really want and what really fits who you are. So I think it's the double thing. It's who you are, what you radiate, but also what you accept in your life. So you have a little bit of a handover. It's not just giving it to the universe and pray.
When we talk about peak performance, what are some things that we have to pay attention to? Because I think in your podcast, one of your podcasts that I was listening, you had a burnout. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, what we tend to do when we have peak performance, and I mean, I'm really a performer, but what we do sometimes is that we run ahead of time. We want the goals that we set very high for us because we know we can do it, but we want to reach them faster and faster and faster. So, but what we forget on this way, which I think is very important, is that the body needs time. Like our health needs time. We need to recover. So there needs to be a balance between pushing and coming back to yourself for two reasons. First of all, because your body needs time to recover, but also you need to always come back to yourself to feel if what you're doing is still the right thing. So otherwise, if you're just running, and I feel that a lot because now I'm way more conscious than when I was in the burnout time. When I run and I keep running, I feel my whole body is getting such a tension, not just like the muscles, they get tension. I feel my neck and everything. So, and I feel like now I can push and I can keep going. Of course I can, because it's a mental thing. But is that good for me? And the thing is, it's not, because then sometimes I feel, because I'm so fast, that the time gets so tight. But it's not because the time is tight. Time is always the same. It's because I'm so fast that I get the feeling of running away from time. Like I'm pushing things so hard that the alignment, the natural alignment cannot happen in some way. So my recommendation for people who feel like they don't have time is always take a break. Take a break, take a coffee, like sit down, relax, be calm, and just focus on yourself, focus on your feelings, and focus on everything that is good in this moment. And then suddenly, it doesn't feel so tight anymore. Suddenly there is some space opening up, and I can only say, like, Einstein said time is relative, and it must have been something with that, like with the quantum mechanics. Time is something that we set up for ourselves to meet at the right time, two people, because otherwise we couldn't find this meeting space. But it's not something that exists for real in some way, because when you're on a date and you love the other person, you love the communication, time flies. When you're in the waiting room of a doctor and you are afraid that there would be a negative notification for you, the 10 minutes feel like 3 hours that you're waiting. So it's relative. It's how you perceive it or how you choose to perceive it. So if you are running, of course you feel like you have not enough time. But if you come back to yourself and you allow yourself to expand your own energy in the time feels as if there would be more. And it's a little manipulation that you can do for yourself. So every time that you are just like running, sit down, take a break, and feel how you get more in balance, and time doesn't feel so tight anymore. And I think this is a great thing to prevent burnout, to just try to always balance it. And when you feel like everything is like running over your head and you have no control, then this is a time to really take a break, like take a day off and do something that like nurtures your soul.
So you were in sports before. So what are some stuff that you've learned in the sports that you transferred in business?
I guess for the first thing is that you have to be there, that you have to say yes to, and that everything in life has a price. So for me, I was young. I mean, everyone that starts out in sport is young. And what you learn first is, oh, partying isn't the good idea. So you cannot go out with your friends every night. You just can't, because then you cannot bring the performance that you need or that you want. So you have to make a choice. And I think this is something that is very important for people who are starting out, that you cannot, I mean, you can have it all in some sense, but you need to make a choice what you really want. If it's being with your friends every night, probably you're not gonna like shoot up your business very fast, because you miss the energy. The same is like if you have a relationship at the same time, you cannot be single. It's always a decision that you have to take. You cannot have two things at the same level. Like you cannot be with your friends 100% and be super successful in sports. It just doesn't align. You cannot go drinking and partying till 5 o'clock in the morning and at 7 or 8 be on the bicycle and do like 8 hours. You can't. It's impossible. You can do one time, but not every time. So, and this is something that I think is very important on getting towards your goal, or making any high performance, because you have to make a choice. You have to have clarity. What is it, what I really want? It's not said that you need to make billions. You can just choose to have a nice life. And there is the approach, perfectly fine to go out with your friends and celebrate. But if you want to create a billion business, then a little bit more focus on the business is not a bad idea. And I think this is something important. Get massive clarity, what you really want, not what you think you want, but what you want, what you thrive for, and what's the big why behind it. Why do you want to do it? And when you have these things in place, then it's easier to take the decision, and then it doesn't even feel that hard anymore. Because when you don't know why you're doing the thing that you're doing, then sometimes it feels like you're missing out. But if you have like my why, and why do I want to do this, it doesn't feel anymore like missing out. It's like you push towards who you are and who you're meant to be. And that's different from the how you perceive it yourself.
What are some valuable lessons that you learned along the way in creating the life that you want and a life of freedom?
That you have to take the risk all the time. It you know, when you start something new, it always takes a lot of courage to do the first step, because you go into uncharted territory. I don't know, you have never been there, you have never done this, and sometimes if you follow your passion, you're not even sure if someone else has done it before. So you just, and I think this is not, there's one more thing to it, because going with like your passion, your authentic self is showing off to the world, like yourself. And that means that if someone says you, then it's not the mask, but it's you, or you can perceive it as being you. But you need to know that this is never about you. It's about how they perceive you. It tells more about who they are than about who you are. Because, for example, I'm a HBI person. So in school, I was always super passionate about everything that I was doing. But other children were not that way. You know, they were more like, I do this and that, and I have no clear goals. I had always like, boom, I was always clear. So I was a little bit mobbed sometimes about being so passionate. For me, that was kind of a little hard in school, but this is what happens. Like, not everyone will understand your journey. Don't get discouraged by that. It's your journey. It's not your job to convince other people, but to go your way. So this is the only thing that is important. Have the courage to be unapologetically. You go forward, go your way, and like let others do their life, but do yours.
So you're a dream life coach. So how do you work with your clients?
Well, we figure out, first of all, what the real dream is. And then we break it down into manageable steps. Like, you know, because the dream sometimes is so far away, and they start like at the bottom. I worked once with an aspiring actor, and he wanted to be in Hollywood. And the first thing that I asked him was like, do you have a set card? And do you have an agency like that promotes you? And he said, no. So that's the first steps that you have to do when you want to be an actor. And it doesn't matter where you want to be. So I think that people, many times they have their goal, it's so far away that they don't even see the first step. So we have to break it down into manageable things that they can include into their life, like the life that they're living now. Because if you have a job, then you cannot start your business within a month, probably. It might be if you're super, super engaged. I'm not saying no. I mean, there's always a possibility for everything, but it's like, it's not as likely as when you have full time for that. So break it down to things that you can do, but do something every day. And this is how I work with my clients. We break it down. We get super clear about what there is to do. We remove the obstacles, like limiting beliefs, like I don't have enough knowledge, I'm not worthy, I can't do it, I worry. You know, you need to get rid of this. All this mental clutter, just push it away and focus on the real you, unapologetic, as I said sometimes. And, you know, like really feeling confident with yourself. Believe that this is possible for you. And from there, moving forward. And yeah.
Where can people learn more about you and follow you?
Best is to go to my website. It's www.tinaenglish. It's TINAENGLISCH.com.